Let's begin our embodiment meditation. So, as always, with embodiment, we begin by simply noticing the breath. Simply noticing the breath moving in and out. Noticing any nuances about the breath. Anything specific about the breath. Is it fast or slow? Is it deep or shallow? You can even wonder if it is cool or warm. Noticing the breath. And when you notice the breath, you become the one who is noticing. You become identified with that which is noticing. And so I just want you to notice what it is like to identify as the one who is noticing. One of my favorite new questions to ask in order to do a spiritual practice throughout the day is, am I aware? Am I aware? And of course, in asking that question, it's kind of rhetorical because in asking it, you become aware, so you don't even need to answer it. Just asking the question, am I aware? You become identified with the larger you that is always noticing and observing. And what we practice in an embodiment meditation is noticing and observing with gentleness and with relatedness without agenda. To notice someone or something and to offer it our attention, the gift of the quality of our attention, the life-givingness of our attention, without any agenda, without asking for something in return, is the greatest gift you can give to yourself or anyone else. And the reason it's the greatest gift is because you are love. You are love. So when you gaze at something or someone, including your breath, without any agenda, you are being love. You move from a transactional way of being into a relational way of being. A transactional way of being feels more dehumanizing. A relational way of being feels life-giving. We come together to offer ourselves and each other the opportunity to show up as love. And whoever is in our vicinity, in our group, gets to experience the gift of receiving a gaze that says, thank you for being here, without any agenda. Now, we may have agendas for our meetings, but the gaze of kindness has nothing underneath it. It's a gaze of authentic thanksgiving. So go back to your breath and notice your breath the way that you might notice a baby or a puppy who's sleeping. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to attend to. You're simply noticing with a kind gaze. And I want you to think back to a moment when you received a kind gaze from someone else without any agenda. And I want you to remember what that felt like in your body. And I want you to recognize that it takes a certain amount of self-worth to allow yourself to receive that gaze from another human being without ping-ponging somewhere else, without trying to hide under the psychological bed, without trying to scurry away, without trying to prove yourself. And when we become receivers of other people's love, we're giving them a gift, and we're giving ourselves a gift. I want you to remember the last time you gave somebody a gift and they received it, and you knew they received it, and what that felt like to have that gift be received. And just to give a contrast, I want you to think of the feeling of what it's like of when you try to give a gift to someone and it's a genuine gift and there's no landing place for it. They're not receiving it. Maybe they can't, or maybe they don't want to. They're not able to receive your gift. It's hard. The feeling of reciprocity, the feeling of a full circle of giving and receiving is something that's very natural and organic to our hearts and to our very being. And whenever that sensation is blocked, it doesn't feel good. And so when we come together here, we're coming together to practice offering and receiving, offering and receiving, offering and receiving. It's kind of like when a wave is coming in from the ocean onto the shore. Do you ever notice that it is simultaneously being pulled back? The offering and the receiving are happening at the same time. And so when we're receiving, we're giving. When we're giving, we're receiving. It's lush. It's fullness. And our task, our practice, is making ourselves available to this reciprocity of offering and receiving. Give yourself a moment now to breathe from your heart. Feel the breath of life moving in and out of your heart as though your heart could breathe, because on an energetic level it can. Breathing in and out from your heart. And notice what that feels like in your body, to breathe in and out from your heart. Asking yourself the question again, am I aware? Identifying as awareness. What a kind, loving thing to do. And now just notice your breath once again, and notice if it has shifted in any way. Has it grown calmer or deeper? Often that is what happens. And expand your awareness of that noticing to the rest of your body. Just noticing with no agenda. And one of the things that is so empowering is when you realize that the body and the breath, they know how to adjust themselves. And that is authentic power. The body and the breath adjust themselves. And when you recognize the power of noticing, and you recognize that the body knows how to adjust itself, Well, that awareness can be applied to any area of your life, to notice without agenda and then watch how things move into place. And that might mean that you're inspired to go do something. So sometimes when I notice my body and I just offer no agenda, just a gentle noticing, I'll notice that my leg wants to move or that my butt wants to move a little bit. And I notice micro movements. So just notice. So let's say you're noticing your garden and you're just noticing without any agenda. You might be aware that this branch wants to be cut, or you want to put a new plant in a certain area, but you're not coming from a place of trying to fix something. You're just simply noticing. The very act of noticing is so beautiful, because in this kind of noticing, there's no lack. There's only love. And when we align with love, we identify with the larger part of our being. We identify with who we really are. And when we show up in love, we show up in power. And that is our aim. That's our aim here at this meeting. That is our aim at Joy-Based Living. And so turn toward your body and give it one more gaze of thanks. And in a few moments, go ahead and stretch your body. Come back into this space, into the physical space. Give thanks to whatever you're sitting on, whatever's holding you up. Give thanks. Give thanks for this moment. And give thanks for the people in your life that offer the gift of relatedness without agenda, who offer the gift of appreciation and noticing just because. And give thanks for your ability to receive. Thank you.